What's up guys, I am Infinity Blade Studios and welcome to State of the Studio 2022. In this video, I'll be showcasing a few of my different projects, with a huge focus on Unreal Engine animation this year. We are joined today by the Archivist, who's working on a variety of different lore projects, which you can actually be directly involved in. Without further ado, let's get started.
They call me Archarin.
Alright, that's our first look at Archarin the animation. What you might know about Archarin is that he's the pilot of Zero Mech in IB1 for its hidden ending, but you might not know that he was actually the descendant of Alsar. I hope to provide some answers to the lore, especially in relation to Alsar/Cyrus's existence during this time, and what it means to the greater story of Infinity Blade. Stay tuned because this fall, it is going to be amazing. Now for some words from the Archivist, who is going to tell you about some of his new and impressive lore projects.
Greetings, mortals. I'm the Archivist, and in addition to the few other video projects I'm working on for this year, there are actually two projects that are special, and that I come to you all now to ask for help with. Firstly, the infamous September 2014 AMA. This long-lost piece of the Infinity Blade lore puzzle is, in my opinion, one of the most critical to our understanding of the story. I'm lucky in that I was able to archive two versions of it, and for the last year, I've been trying to figure out the best way to present it to you all. In addition to a PDF version of the AMA for easy reference, I also wanted to create a video that could be listened to, but instead of reading off the whole thing myself or using text-to-speech or something, I thought, what better way to present this AMA than by including the community in the spirit of the original AMA, and having you all read the questions that were asked. If you'd be willing to read one or multiple questions, in the description you'll find a Google form with instructions and where you'll indicate how I can reach you, whether you have a good mic and recording environment, and the number and type of questions you'd like to read. After filling that out, I'll reach out to you with your assigned questions, which you'll then record and send to me. Thanks in advance. I'm excited to get this project going and eventually out to you all. The second project involves the Medius Observatory, which was added in version 1.4 of Infinity Blade 3, and brought with it another very interesting piece of the lore puzzle. The track that backs this location is super mysterious, containing almost ominous echoing whispers from the Worker of Secrets himself. But what exactly is he saying? The exact lines being said and what they mean for Infinity Blade lore have long been a subject of debate on the IB Discord server, and for good reason. Composer Josh Aker has previously stated
the biggest perk about my job is that they pull me in at a very early stage in making their games to assist me in making the music. Having been involved with the game from an early stage, I know the behind the scenes. I've seen art that isn't in the game. I know characters that aren't talked about. I know storylines that aren't mentioned that you don't get to see.
So with that in mind, I'm here to try and put some of the debate surrounding this track to rest, with your help of course. In the description you'll find a link to another forum that I've put together. In this one, you'll first listen to the track to get an idea of what you think is being said, after which you'll be presented with some of the most common interpretations for each line. Pick the one that matches what you heard, or enter your own if you feel so inclined. With enough data, we can create a community consensus of what's being said, and use the interpretation to better understand the lore. So, with that said, any and all participation is appreciated for these projects, and thank you in advance if you're filling out one or both forms. I look forward to delivering the results of both to you all as soon as possible. Thank you for your contributions to the archive, and until next time, hell take us all.
The cycle has begun. The Europeans have begun their descent, and the rest of the world is soon to follow.
Really though, why must I have been made to impersonate such a vain character?
Because it's all the more interesting. For millions of years and thousands of cycles, we have witnessed the fall of nations and rise of devils. Our planned calamity shall commence in roughly 6 weeks. How often are we going to see a man killed
The boy. What are your plans for him?
We need another to guide the path.
Are you mocking your own intellect? Innocent.
Alright, that was something. So, Eternity, it follows the story of Infinity Blade Redemption's Deviation chapters, which were a prologue to the Infinity Blade series, and about Uriel, who is the God King's father. The story I'm creating, it's based off of this. It takes place right after Jory becomes the God King, and Alisar and Galeth are essentially taking over and ruling the world, because this is the beginning of the cycle in which the God King becomes a ruler, and then we have Cyrus and Issa at the very end. So this story of Eternity is going to be the beginning of, I guess, the modern Infinity Blade universe. And we're going to learn some things about Galeth and some things about Alisar that you might not have known. I strongly recommend that you read Infinity Blade Redemption, or just the Deviation chapters even, because it answers a lot of things about lore and brings us to this new aspect that I'm going to be elaborating upon in the future, with Eternity, the animations, and all that. Alright, so now we're getting onto Projekt Sword. I haven't really posted anything on Projekt Sword on my channel because I basically hadn't been working on it that much until just about a couple months ago. I've gone through a variety of different design changes. Initially, I wanted to make a dungeon crawler because I thought that it would be cool if we kind of had a modern version of Infinity Blade Dungeons, but I realized that I didn't actually want to play that game. So yeah, I'm scratching that. I think instead what I'm going to be creating, and what I'm actually doing right now, is an RPG type game. Basically, you'll be able to go to all the Infinity Blade locations you know and love, because in the Epic Games Marketplace, they actually have assets that literally directly from the Infinity Blade games. Like, they already have the exterior of the Infinity Blade 1 Citadel. It's right there. So what I'm going to be doing is just putting all these assets together and creating a game that you'll be able to interact with a lot of, characters from Infinity Blade and Infinity Blade Dungeons and weapons and stuff like that. So you'll be able to get an experience with Projekt Sword that enables you to go to the places you know and love while still having an interesting gameplay experience. Now, that's the goal at least, because creating a video game is not easy. Putting everything together into a coherent game that I would be able to play myself and be proud of is extremely difficult. So it could be many years before you ever see Projekt Sword on your devices. It might never happen at all, but I'm spending literally 4 or 5 hours a day on developing this, and I hope that by the end of the summer I'll be able to release a gameplay demo or something on this channel, so you have a good idea of what Projekt Sword looks like. Alright, that concludes the State of the Studios 2022. Just a quick recap, I'm working on Archarin the animation, multiple episodes of Eternity, developing Projekt Sword, and the Archivist is working on a full transcript of the Observatory exploration, as well as his magnum opus, the September 14 AMA, which, remember, you can be involved in. Just check the links down below. That's all for today, see ya.
You've become a tyrant.